Sheldon, you come into this game for there's lots of players here who have experience closing out a series in a sweep. Who do you lean on here to drive that experience?
Well, the experienced people are the ones that you would lean on, of course, and guys who've been the voice of our team all year long. Mainly they're veteran people, but we got enough of a supporting cast that have been through these situations, as you say. But even if you haven't been through it, I think it's pretty apparent. It's pretty obvious. You want to finish things off when you have an opportunity to do so. So we spoke about it as a team today. We recognize we have to have our best game of the series tomorrow. And I feel confident we'll be prepared to do that.
Does it help having been through this before for these guys?
I think experience is a very valuable thing for sure. Not just in situations like this, but even to get us to this point. To be able to manage the emotions. Even we look back at the Rochester series, times when we're getting outplayed and we need to kind of settle down and just find a way to win a game. Ability to keep our composure through times like that, I think, allowed us to persevere and push on. And same with in this series here, I thought there's key times in each game where we've been able to stay composed and just go out and play. So experience is a very valuable thing. And at the same time, as I've said before, I think we have a number of very motivated and hungry people at the same time that maybe weren't a part of last year's playoff run that have come into our team this year, and we've got a lot of different reasons for people to lean on and to push us over the edge.
You got a young group on defense here. How much have you admired their poise through some of these games?
Yeah, it's been impressive to watch it. And be honest, you're not quite sure how it's going to go. Particularly when you look at Hollowell and Duzak, two guys that hadn't been with us all year, haven't had a lot of experience in the league. How are they going to manage this time of year? What's at stake? Not being familiar with our structure and our systems and their teammates and all those things. But they've dealt with it very well. It speaks to their intelligence as players and the confidence that they have in themselves. And also just, the group that we have around them that's made them feel comfortable.
What's your impression been of Korskov now a couple times through Sheldon for someone who hadn't? We always talk about the adjustment playing on this lower size of ice surface. He didn't have a lot of experience doing that. How's he made that adjustment, do you think?
Yeah, I think he's done well. I'm not sure, how much of it would be applying to the size of the ice, but just all the factors of the whirlwind that you would go through, coming over here and meeting everybody and the language issues and the new league, new teammates, playing in such a critical time of the year. I think he's dealt with it very well. I'm very impressed with his intelligence, both on and off the ice. So his ability, despite having very minimal understanding of the language, he picks up on things very well. He's very observant, and we're finding he understands a lot more than you would think. And then on the ice, his decision making and his reads have been very good for a guy that he's had a couple practices with us, but this time of year you're really on and off the ice, and you're not really getting down to the nuts and bolts of your structure. So he's shown a high intelligence level on the ice, and big guy with lots of poise with the puck too. So lots of good things there.
What do you think has allowed you guys in a league that's so even, especially in playoffs and things are so tight, to emerge so far without a loss and try to keep that going tomorrow night?
Well, as I said earlier, I think experience and composure are big things. I think that's those can be little intangibles that make a big difference this time of year. We spoke about that before the playoffs began, and the need to stay composed and manage our emotions shift to shift. Period to period, and then certainly game to game. The emotion levels are so high from one game to the next. You got one team that feels good about themselves because they win, and then you got another team that is recognizing the urgency of not wanting to lose two in a row, and they usually would bounce back and have a great effort. And you have to be able to ride that wave through the playoffs. Otherwise, the series get away on you, and then all of a sudden you're playing game 6 and 7, and it can go either way. So to be able to manage that is an important factor. We've clearly gotten great goaltending, and we've gotten luck along the way too. So all those are factors, and when it all comes together, you're able to put together a run like this.
So how crucial is it for you guys then to not leave that door ajar open tomorrow night and give them a chance to win and get back in this thing?
Yeah, very important. So I think that's what we talked about today, and not. We recognize we're in control of the series here, but we don't want to be comfortable in that. We want to finish this thing, and you never want to give another team life, in particular a good team like this, where, especially if we look at games 2 and 3, I think this can go either way, which in most cases playoffs are like that, or the game can go either way. We've been able to get on the right side of them all the way through the playoffs to this point. You don't want to let that pendulum swing the other way.
You same lineup tomorrow night?
Yes.
Sand in as the maintenance today then? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.